Hello YouTube, so today I'm going to be showing you how to get first on any YouTube video by any YouTuber using YT Firstbot, a program that I made and is available on GitHub. So I have it installed on my computer, so I'm going to go through from the install from start to finish, everything you need to do. So first what you want to do, you want to go to github.com/clay53/YT dash first dash bot. And here it will bring you to the GitHub page for the bot. This has all the code and this is what you'll be using. Okay, so after you get to the repository, you want to go to Google in a new tab and search git download. Then it'll be on a link called git-scm.com/downloads. Select that. Once the page is loaded, you want to select what operating system you're using. So on this tutorial will work basically the same on macOS and Windows. And if you're using Linux, you can install most of these packages or programs using sudo apt-get. So for git, you'd be doing sudo apt-get git. So let me select Windows here, and it'll download like the 32-bit or 64-bit version, whichever one we have. So just wait for that. Okay, once it's done downloading, you'll want to click it. If you're on another browser, you might have to hit run, install. You can figure out which one. And then it'll show up the information, so you can read this if you want. I'm just going to hit next. And then you can put this wherever you want. I just keep it at the default because it's a small program, and I think it'd be better if you just kept it where it is. Next, and then you can put icons on the desktop if you would like. And then here is also Windows Explorer integration. So this will be like if you want to open like the Git GUI or the Git command line in Windows Explorer. So say I open Windows Explorer and I right click somewhere, like an open folder, preferably. It'll say Git bash here or Git GUI here. And then this will associate .git files and .sh file to be run with bash. I do that because if you're on Windows, it won't open with anything else unless you already have a program for that, which great. And I'm just gonna hit next and then hit next again. And it doesn't really matter which one of these you choose. I like Nano actually, so I'll choose that. And then you can do I'd honestly so I choose for this tutorial, you probably want to choose the middle option. You can do the first or third option. The first one, you'll have to use git bash instead of command line or PowerShell. The third option, you'll be able to do everything. However, it will also override some default Windows tools, and I don't know if that's completely safe. It should be, but it, like it says, only do that if you know what you're doing. And then you can also use the OpenSSL library or the native secure channel library. I just keep this as default. And default again, and again. And you can enable symbolic links. So this will create like when it's like a shortcut in Windows, except it uses the same path as where the shortcut is. So if you don't know what that is, ignore it. You can it's really your choice if you want to enable this. I'm gonna enable this just in case. I don't think it really hurts anything, though it might need extra permissions. So after that, you just wanna wait for it to load. Okay, so when it's done installing, just uncheck re-release notes because it doesn't really matter. After you're done installing Git, you want to go back to your web browser and search console.cloud.google.com. From here, you will sign in to your email. Okay, so once you've signed in, it'll bring you to this welcome page. So you want to, you can save your password. It doesn't matter. So it'll say if you want to agree to the terms of service. So this basically means do not do anything bad because it'll make Google sad. So um, a quick disclaimer right here. I did get a TOS takedown for when I was running this bot on my account. However, without even sending an appeal, they reinstated it. So I didn't get it taken down. So I did get it taken down for a little bit. Then they brought it back up without me even doing anything. So I don't really know what happened there. I sent in a support ticket. They basically said you weren't doing anything, so we reinstated it. Okay. I'm not really sure. So I'm just agree and continue, I guess. And then from here, you want to create a new project. So we'll select a project. So yeah, you hit select a project, and then we'll create a new project. And then we'll call this YT first bot. And yeah, we'll leave it there. You can put this as an organization if you want. I don't really recommend it. So hit create, and then it'll take a while to load. So while it's doing that, we'll go search up Python, also in Google, and you'll be led to python.org. We'll go to downloads, and then again, if you're on Linux, to download Python, you can basically do sudo apt-get python. I'm not sure the exact command line. I'll put it on the screen. For this, I will be using Python 2.7. So go to download, select Windows, because we're on Windows. You can select the same thing on Mac. You can hit Mac OS if you're on Mac OS. It's basically the same. So we're going to select the latest Python 2 release. Then we'll scroll down, and because we are running 64-bit, we'll select the MSI or this -64 MSI launcher. If you're on 32-bit Windows, select the x86. If you're in 64-bit Mac OS, select the 64-bit one. And if you're on 32-bit Mac OS, hit that one, like the 32-bit one. So I'll select that one, then we'll wait for that to install. Okay, so I had to update a bunch of stuff on my computer because I couldn't get this to run. So what you want to do is after you install the installer, then you want to run it, and then you want to select run or install for all users. You can install for just your user. If you're in a business setting, like it's a business computer and it has like a multi-user setup, then you might not want to do that. And it also doesn't work on Windows Vista. So I'm going to keep the default directory for Python 2 and install. And then it'll say like what modules you want. And I think that, uh, so by default, the add Python to path thing is disabled. I would definitely, I would definitely enable that because that allows you to just type Python to run it. And then you'll just hit next. And then it'll go through the extraction. So apparently this takes several minutes, and apparently my computer's really lagging. Uh, so I'll be back with you when this is done. Okay, so in the next clip you're about to see, I thought I had shown you how to get to the project folder on your computer. However, I did not. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to either want to open the command prompt, or on Windows, you're either going to open command prompt or you're going to want to open PowerShell. I'd actually recommend command prompt. However, I did use PowerShell in the video. I'm not sure how to get to the command line in macOS, but in Linux, it's just called terminal. It's probably on your taskbar. So I'm not completely sure. It might be under your applications and then system as well. So yeah, when you get into command prompt or PowerShell, depending on what you decide on, you want to type in mkdir GitHub. This is just to make it so that you can organize your folder, like your GitHub repositories, better. And then you're going to want to cd into that GitHub folder that you just created. And then what you want to do is you want to go to the GitHub repository that I showed you how to get to earlier, hit clone or download, and then you want to see the clone with HTTPS. You might be able to clone with SSH, though if you have the HTTPS option, I definitely use that. So you either want to select this, right click, copy, Control C, or hit that. There's a lot of options. And then you want to go back into your command line, hit or type in git clone space, and then in command prompt, you right click to paste it in. You might have to press Control V, or you might be able to hit right click and paste. It depends on what your setup is. And then you want to hit enter, and then this will copy all the repository files into that folder. And then you want to type in cd to again change your directory to the project folder that we created. So by default, it'll use the repository name, which is yt-first-bot. Then we hit enter, we'll be in there, and that's what you need for the next clip. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So I messed this up earlier. So this looks slightly different from your screen, but try to follow along. So what we need to do, we want to create a API key, and then we can close that. And then we also want to create an OAuth client ID. So first, to do this, we must first set a product name on our consent screen. So we have to hit configure consent screen. And then we have to give our program a public facing name. So this isn't really public. So I'm just going to call it what it was before. You can upload an application logo if you'd like, but you're the only one who's going to see it. So it doesn't really matter. So here you can also see the scopes for Google APIs. Scopes allow your application to access users' private data. We do not need this. We also don't need authorized domains. We also don't have an application homepage link or, yeah. So actually, we have to apply. Okay, so we'll do that quick. So you can put anything here, probably. Oh, we have to authorize a domain. There you go. And just make sure there's no HTTPS thing on it. And there you go. And I'm just gonna paste this for each. Oh, we can just hit save. So maybe you didn't need to do that last bit. I'm not sure. So for application, we're actually going to choose web application because this actually no, just other. Yeah, choose other, and we can just leave it to what it is. And so OAuth is limited to 170 scope logins until the OAuth consent screen is published. So don't worry about that because we only have one client. That's you. So we can be good with that. So we want to hit the download here. And then here, let me close that here. Then once you get it downloaded, those are the mistakes I did. So once you get it downloaded, you want to hit the arrow or whatever thing it is in your browser, and you just want to hit show in folder. Or you can navigate to this manually, but it's just easier to hit the arrow and hit show in folder. And we put the project in our user directory under GitHub. So what you want to do, you want to hit local disk C under this PC, then go to users, your desktop name or your username, doesn't matter. Or yeah, it does matter, but you just find it. It's one of those, probably your username. And then we want to go under GitHub. And then we can see the YT first spot, which is the repository that we cloned from GitHub. We want to open that, and we want to paste this in here. So I'm not sure if I made this clear. So what you can do, you can actually just right click and hit cut in downloads and then paste and it'll move the file. Or you can hit Control X and then Control V. So yeah. And we're also going to rename this. So we're going to rename this to client underscore secret. So that'll make it sure that that the script will be able to find it. If you can't see the .json, you might want to go into view, options, view again, and then make sure hide extensions for known file types is off so you can see the extension for everything. So yeah, remember that this is the same. This section is the same on Linux, macOS, and Windows. So it's just a different file explorer. Also, if you're on Windows and don't know how to open File Explorer, hit the Windows key and type in File Explorer and it'll show up there. And now we can go back into our command line and type in pip, or yeah, we need to install the packages. So yeah, this is what we're doing right now. So on Linux, you'll have to do sudo, I'm fairly sure, unless you have some weird setup, and you don't need to do sudo. But on Windows and I believe macOS, you don't need sudo. And if you do sudo on Windows, it won't work. So pip install dash dash upgrade. I'll just paste it in. Dash dash upgrade Google API Python client. Hit enter. So I already installed this by accident, so it'll go fairly quickly for me. And let me just do the next two. You also need Google auth HTTP lib 2. Do that again. And then you also need Google auth OAuth lib. And we'll do that. So if you encounter any errors, because it says you're using pip version 9.0.3, however, version 19.02 is available. If you experience any errors, you probably want to update your version of pip. I probably should, but I'm not going to. And now we want to edit our configuration for the project. So if you can see conf.py, we'll right click it, and then we'll open it with whatever text editor you choose. And then here we can see the actual options. So here we have the comment at the top. And for now we can have it set to hello. The default is hello. We're going to set it to ha first, just because it's dumb. You can put whatever you want there. Just make sure that it's in the quotes. And if you're not sure how to enter like a specific character, so say you want to quote in your comment, you'll have to use an escape character to make sure that it doesn't encounter any errors. And then here we can see the update frequency. So right now we have that set to 5. So that means that every 5 seconds it will check for a new video in the playlist that we show. So say we want to get the uploads of a YouTuber. So we go on youtube.com and then we will search their name. So I'm going to do my personal account. And then we'll go on to their profile page, and then videos. And then we can see that uploads is actually a playlist that is updated every time a channel uploads a new video. So if we hit play all, we'll get to their video. So we can copy the list in the URL. So it'll say at the end, it'll say and list equals, and then the rest of that should be the key. So we can replace the key in playlist with that key. So, and if you want to have another playlist, like if you want to monitor multiple channels, you'll have to use a comma, and then you'll have the same format as we have for the first one. So for now, I'm just going to remove that. So say you only want one, so you can just do that. And then you will hit Control S, or you can hit File and then Save to save your file. Or yeah, save a configuration. And then to run it, we want to type in Python main.py. Oh, I forgot to. I showed this already. I forgot to cd into there. Then Python main.py, and then it'll give us a URL to sign into the application. So, here, let me copy that. I don't know why the copying is so weird right now. So, bear with me. Okay, I'll copy that because I'm gonna do that manually. Because for some reason, it doesn't want to select like a normal person. So in PowerShell, you can drag over it, hit Control C, and it will copy it. And I'm pretty sure you can also hit right click and copy. Oh, no, you can't. And Linux, I'm pretty sure is Control Shift C, and I have no idea what it is in macOS. So let me go to that URL quick. Okay, there we go. So I had to uh, remove the returns on here. So if you have any problems like it doesn't recognize it, look for %20, and that means it's just a different line. Like that's, yeah. So I don't know why I have to do that. Usually you can just select the URL and it'll automatically do that. So then we'll choose an account and then it'll ask for permission. We're just gonna hit allow and then allow again. And then it gives us a code to copy into the command line. So we'll copy that using Control C, or you can just right click and copy, or you can hit that. So you have a lot of options. Then you just want to right click and that should be pasted in. No, it was not. Okay. Um, we'll Control V. And I hope that I can still use the same code. Yes, I can. So then we will notice that every 5 seconds, it'll check. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So that'll do that. And here I'm going to upload a video quick. So I'll just time lapse this here. Okay. So now we can see that we can publish our video right now. And then if we go to the link, actually, if we look at our command line, oh, okay. So actually, I found something interesting right now. So if you do not have your YouTube account connected with Google Plus, you cannot use the API. So actually, I'm gonna do that quick, and then I will be back, and I'll do the same thing. Okay, so I'm almost back to where I was before. I just have to wait a little bit for it to process. So actually, it wasn't that I needed to create a Google Plus account. Well, it might have been, but it was also because I didn't have a YouTube account on that account. So yeah, so that probably cost it. So I'm gonna publish this video, and if I go into the command line, it'll say the key or the playlist key, new video, and then it'll say what the video ID was right there and there. Then it should keep going. So after 5 seconds, it should, yeah. So you might have to press enter for it to keep going. Not sure why that would be. I haven't seen that happen before actually. It might be something with PowerShell, because I usually run this on my Raspberry Pi because you do need to keep your computer on the entire time. So if I go to this video and I scroll down, you can see that on that account it said ha first, which is what we designated in the conf.py. Oh, I almost forgot. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to this channel and also leave a like if you enjoyed this video. If you want to be notified of new videos like this, also hit the notification bell. That'll notify you of each video because that's what it's called. That's what it does. Also, I'd like to thank people on Patreon. So, actually, well, there's no one on Patreon anymore. So, whoops. But we do have like a so thank you to the person who created the logo for the channel. I'm still not sure if I updated it yet. I'll hopefully update it before I upload this video. So Kyle W, I'll have his link in the description of the video. You can relating to the Patreon thing, you can get a shout out at the end of each video by paying $5 a month. You will get a shout out on this video, and you'll be on the YouTube page on my website. So, goodbye.